like a
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger, I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger, I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat.
Oh, what's up, Yankees universe? Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Tuesday, October 17th. Like always, I'm your guy Hector, joined by my co-host, Mr. TC Stills. TC, how you feeling, big fella?
Feeling good. Everything's good. Yankees aren't playing, but there's some good playoffs going. Playoff games going, and hey, how about them Texas Rangers, huh?
How about them Texas Rangers? How about Jordan Montgomery, the guy that Brian Cashman didn't believe in? We'll get more into that when it comes to that. But let's shout out the chat real quick as we continue. And I see we got the Shay and Sons podcast in the building. Keith and Keith. Right. What it do, my guys? Salute. Let's do a roll call. We got 01LS1Z28DABX is in the building. How you doing, my guy? NFE is in the building. Salute to my brother NFE. Happy birthday to my guy as well. Damian Serrano's in the building. Damian Serrano, how you doing? My guy Sean Brown is in the building. Sean, how you doing? Anna Marie LeBeau, one of my favorites, is in the chat. Anna Marie, I hope all is well. We got Doc Ghost 84. First time seeing you in the chat. Doc, hope all is well. Salute. My guy Anthony Garcia's in the building.
Anthony,
El Dominicano Flacco's in the building. How you doing? Of course, my guy Tyler Tabbitt's in the building. TT, how you doing? We got retired war vet in the building.
Good to see you.
War vet, what it do, my guy?
He's been away for a while.
I can't forget Deb Finch, one of the most loyalist people that I know. Deb Finch, good morning, big fella. And then, of course, we got Merck So Saucy in the building. Merck, how you doing? Salute. 3 capital S's to the dome. If you guys can, hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button as well. I see we got Avicii in the building. Avicii, how you doing? Salute to you. But TC,
can't forget Jigga, producer behind the scenes. He's here.
I have enough time with Jigga, right? But shout out to my brother Jigga. He was backstage with me this morning. That's my guy. You guys don't see he's backstage flipping me off right now, but he knows that. Like, he gave me 2 for the price of 1. But TC, you said it. A good playoff series so far. Let's start with the playoffs. Go ahead, TC. Tell the folks what you thought about this weekend.
Texas Rangers, man. They just went into Houston and took 2 games. I mean, can't say enough about the game Jordan Montgomery pitched. My goodness, shutout baseball, 6 innings. You got Nathan Eovaldi, another ex-Yankee, pitched a great game. Gave up a couple runs. They hung on and pulled out a close one there. Chapman a little scary there in a moment there, but hey, Texas, they did enough to win, and this is something the Yankees couldn't do. They couldn't beat Houston, and they've already beat them, 2 games. So 2 games away from going to the World Series, and then, in the National League, you got the Phillies, took the first game.
Looking good.
They are tough. Bryce Harper, again, my goodness, that guy. Big miss, Cashman. I hope you taking notes on what could have been. What could have been, but
we'll get to the what could have been. Good series so far. Philly is leading that series 1-0 against the Diamondbacks. Like you said, Texas is up 2-0 right now when it comes to the Houston Astros. I know as a Yankee fan, I'm excited that Texas is beating up on Houston. But the fat lady hasn't sung yet. You can't take the cigars out because you won't
count them out. No, not with that pitching.
You can't count out Houston. They have phenomenal pitching. Let's see what happens for the rest of the series. But so far, so good. If you're a Texas Ranger fan, shout out to my guy, Uncle Foxy in the building. Stephen Fox, how you doing? Let's see. My guy, Doc Ghost said, Hector, I follow you on my news. Salute to you, Doc. On Facebook, let me know, Doc, where you was able to find this at. And if you can, share us with other Yankee communities as well, my guy. And just so everybody know, going forward on Tuesdays and Thursdays for the Yankees Morning Brew is going to be open panel. So we'll have the open panel later on today, 11:45. The link will go out, and we'll rock out from 11:45 to 12:30, just so we could get everyone involved in the chat.
Can't wait to hear from the fans.
My guy, Retired War Vet, said, just celebrated me and my wife's 36th wedding anniversary on October 10th.
Congratulations.
My wife was sick, but still, as always, a great day. Salute to you and your wife. 36 years is amazing. You hardly hear that nowadays. Retired War Vet, salute to you and to the missus as well. Let's see what else we got in the chat real quick. My guy Angel G Serrano's in the building. Right, Angel, how you doing? Salute to you, my guy. Haven't seen you on the live chat. Angel always goes back and comments on the videos afterwards, but it's great to see him in the live. Shout out to my guy. And my guy, NYY's numero uno, Ruben's in the building. What's up, Ruben? Shout out to my guy, Ruben. And like I always said, if you guys aren't following Ruben, Don Sicario, and Felix over there on NYY News, I don't know what you're doing. Make sure you follow my guys. They put out great information. Ruben is always DMing me with amazing tweets and stuff and stats. So shout out to my guys, because Ruben helps me when it comes to gathering my information for this show. So just so you guys know, like me and TC always say, this show wouldn't be what it is without you guys in the chat, without the stuff that happens behind the scenes, whether it's Ruben messaging me, whether it's L.I. Yankee King messaging me 20 different trade scenarios for a 37th round draft pick. Just know all of you guys go into making this show. But TC, let's start with the first conversation for today, right? And like always, we'll be right back. We hinted it a little bit, but we got to talk about Jordan Montgomery. Monty, the former Yankee prospect who was traded away for Harrison Bader. Now, last year at the trade deadline, Yankee fans were 50-50 when it comes to the whole deal for Harrison Bader. When Harrison Bader is healthy, he is an elite gold glove defender out there. But the key word is healthy. Your best ability is availability. And when it comes to Harrison Bader, he doesn't have the ability to stay on the field. Now, one thing I'm going to say is, if it wasn't for Harrison Bader last year in the playoffs with the Yankees, that playoff run he went on, I do not believe we would have made it past the first round against the Cleveland Guardians if it wasn't for Harrison Bader, right? So, yes, Harrison Bader did what he did last year, but with our pitching staff in shambles this season, Jordan Montgomery would have been a perfect fit behind Garrett Cole in his Cy Young season. What's your thoughts on that, TC? Folks in the chat, let me know as well. Are you guys want the Yankees to bring back Monty this offseason? Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, we were kind of 50-50. I know I was with the whole trade. I mean, I wanted a good, solid center fielder, and Bader gave us that. And then of course what he did against Cleveland, in the playoffs, that was a plus. But we knew that his bat wasn't great. But giving up Jordan Montgomery, I mean, he's been solid. He was solid for us. The only reason the reason it looks bad for him because he had no run support. We gave him nothing, and the guy gave us, I mean, it was for me, it was agony watching him pitch. I mean, it seemed like it took him forever to get the ball to the plate, but he gave us 4 or 5 innings a game. It was, solid starts. He wasn't getting rocked around, but we never scored for him. But yeah, if we had him back, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Right, slotted right there behind Rodon and Garrett Cole. I mean, look at what he's done. 2.0 ERA in 17 innings in the postseason. Yeah, that's terrific. That's what you want. And he's looked great. And he's their ace right now. They don't have DeGrom. Scherzer's pitching tomorrow, but he was injured. Jordan Montgomery is their ace. I would have never expected that for him to be an ace of any staff. But look at what he's done, and hats off to him. And then we'll see if there's a reunion later on.
When you look at his stats this season, right, collectively combined with the St. Louis Cardinals and the Texas Rangers, collectively, he had an ERA this season, a 3.20 ERA. He made 32 starts. He pitched 188 and 2/3 innings. When you look at his numbers with the Cardinals, he was 6-9 with a 3.42 ERA with the Cardinals. With the Texas Rangers, he stepped it up a little bit. He was 4-2 with a 2.79 ERA. Amazing numbers across the board. And when you look at his innings, 188 innings was the most innings Jordan Montgomery ever pitched in the big leagues. Last year, he upped this number to 178. So you see the progression when it comes to Jordan Montgomery year in and year out. But the question that we have to all ask ourselves, when it comes to Brian Cashman, will Cashman ever admit he made a mistake? And I think if he was to go out there and sign Jordan Montgomery, I think that's him admitting that he made a mistake. Now, what they said, what was the first thing that came out when they had this quote unquote secret meeting? Everybody was told to check their egos at the door. Brian Cashman, this offseason is an offseason when it comes to you checking your ego at the door. Shout out to our guys over at Fireside Yankees. They put out a tweet. Jordan Montgomery proved last night that Brian Cashman screwed up another trade. Seen as a postseason non-factor in New York, because that's one of the reasons we traded him. We didn't think he'll crack our rotation for the postseason. Look what he's doing. But seen as a postseason non-factor in New York, Montgomery has an ERA 2.08 and 17 postseason innings this year so far. Yeah.
You know what I think? That beard looks so good on you, Hector. I think it might be the beard on Jordan Montgomery. I think the beard gives you it gives you some sort of superpower, because it seems like when, hey, you're phenomenal. I keep saying that, but with Jordan Montgomery, look, these guys go to different teams and they grow out their beards and they seem to do better. So I don't know. Maybe this facial hair thing needs to go. I don't know. I can't think of any other thing. Why do they do so much better when they're not on the Yankees? I mean, we tweak them. We try to do too much, and it doesn't work. They go and they go to another team and they figure it out. So it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy what Jordan Montgomery has done this postseason. And with the Texas Rangers, down the stretch. Definitely Cashman. Probably, he blew it. I think he he blew it. I don't think that having Jordan Montgomery on our team this year would have put us that much closer to the playoffs. Our big thing was our offense, but
Jordan Montgomery definitely would have helped, right? Jordan Montgomery definitely would have helped, because when you look at Garrett Cole, minus Garrett Cole, the Yankees starting pitchers, they had an ERA over 4.50. And I want to shout out my guy Ruben again, because like I said, Ruben be sending me the juice. Ruben just texted me right now. One of the reasons why Jordan Montgomery never looked as good with the Yankees as he looked right now is because the Yankees coddled him. Shout out to my guy Ruben, who sent me the stats. When you look at the amount of pitches Jordan Montgomery was allowed to pitch with the Yankees, in 2020, he was averaging 74 pitches per start. And 2021, 85.7 pitches per start. 2022, 81.6 pitches per start. Now, when he went to St. Louis, he was averaging over 90 pitches a start. First season, 91.1. This season, 91.8. And now with Texas, he's averaging 91 pitches per start. They're taking the gloves off of him. They're not taking him out of the fifth inning. When you have it in your head, it's like an automatic timer, TC. You could probably relate to this. If you have it in your head that, wow, my pitch count is 70. As soon as I get to 85, they're going to take me out the game. We just got into the fifth inning. Now, mentally, he knows that is in the back of his head. Right. So he's going to try to be more perfect with his pitches. You take the gloves off of him and you let him be who he's supposed to be. Look what Jordan Montgomery turns into. Now, is this coaching? Is this philosophy? Is it a little bit of both? Did the Yankees truly believe that Jordan Montgomery was that good of a starting pitcher? Because honestly, why would you trade a middle of the rotation pitcher for a guy who hasn't shown that he can stay healthy when it comes to Harrison Bader? So I honestly don't think that the Yankees are in the higher ups or the analytic department. I don't think they thought highly of Jordan Montgomery like everybody thinks of him right now.
No, they did not. And You know, and you bring up a good point with the pitch count. I was and the coaching, by the way, too. I was watching game 2 yesterday.
Sorry, TC. I got a question. Just because there's noise outside, do you hear the noise that's coming out?
I don't hear
outside
anything.
of my
No.
Copy. I just wanted to ask. My fault.
No,
TC.
you're good.
Go ahead,
you're
brother.
good. Yeah. So bringing up the coaching, I was watching the game 2 yesterday with Nathan Eovaldi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I believe it was the 5th inning. It was bases loaded, no outs. Bruce Bochy said, "You know what, Eovaldi, you're getting yourself out of this. I'm not going to the bullpen." 9 out of 10 times, Aaron Boone would took him out of the game.
Facts.
And brought in a reliever.
Facts.
And Eovaldi, you know, he said himself. He said, "You know what? I'm going to get this out. I'm going to get myself out of this. I got myself into it." He battled, struck out a couple guys, got out of the inning, and he moved and he went on and pitched another inning. And that's the thing. They treated Jordan Montgomery as well. He got in a little trouble. You're out. 4th inning. He was like 4-inning pitcher. I don't think I've ever seen him like pitch into the 5th, if that. And that's the thing. Our coaches, Aaron Boone, just the quick yank, and Bruce Bochy being the veteran that he took San Francisco all those years and to the championship, and that's the thing. That is the thing that is missing with our coaching staff, is that they don't let the pitcher feel for the game and get themselves out of it. It's just a quick hook, and they got to change that. That's a philosophy that has to change.
Yeah, because how can you expect your starting pitchers to build up the gut to handle the pressure if you don't let them pitch in the pressure? I guarantee you this, TC. Bruce Bochy, he's not worrying about what avenue or what lane a reliever has in that bullpen. He's trying to win the game. And he knows Nathan Eovaldi is probably his best option at that moment to get out of that situation. And shout out to Nathan Eovaldi as well. This is another guy, former Yankee pitcher, that the Yankees let walk away. I get it. He had Tommy John surgery. You didn't want to sign him and have him just be in your system making that money. That's shame on you. But did you see the reports?
I heard he wanted to come back in the offseason.
I was just about to say that. Did you see the reports that came out saying that Nathan Eovaldi wanted to return to the Yankees, but Brian Cashman didn't even pick up the phone? This is a guy, Nathan Eovaldi, that won a World Series with the Boston Red Sox, who's pitching the American League East majority of his career, and you didn't want to bring him back? This is a guy, when he was with the Yankees, it was hit or miss. It was either he was phenomenal, locked in, or he was giving up home runs, 3 or 4 runs in a game, walking everybody. But as he's gotten older, he's understand he doesn't have to just pump 100 miles per hour past you. He has to locate. He has to rely on his breaking pitch. The evolution of Nathan Eovaldi, you've seen it right in front of our eyes. He's learned how to pitch, and he's doing it on the perfect platform right now in the postseason. Before we continue, I want to shout out my brother, Mr. Ra Thompson's in the building. Ra, how you doing? Ra, I tried calling you over the weekend. I'm not sure if it went through, but Ra, I got to hit your phone because you and we got to talk. But shout out to my brother, Ra Thompson's in the building. Also, we got 40 of you beautiful people in the building. If you guys can, please smack that like button for your boys. Brian Hoach also tweeted out, the Yankees traded Jordan Montgomery because they didn't think he would crack their postseason rotation. Here's what he just did versus the Astros in Game 1 of the ALCS. 6 1/3, 5 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. The Texas Rangers are up 2-0, while Brian Cashman and the Yankees are home with egg on their face. Now, when you look at the postseason, I know the Minnesota Twins, they're not in it anymore, right? They got eliminated by the Astros. But when you look at the postseason, the starting pitchers, Sonny Gray, Jordan Montgomery, and Nathan Eovaldi. 3 former Yankees starting pitchers. That's more than half of a starting rotation right there, TC.
Yeah.
How this team would look differently if we kept them behind Garrett Cole. Again, we don't know what Sonny Gray would have turned out. This is all 50-50 in hindsight. But something needs to be held accountable. The more success, and this is why I'm rooting for the Texas Rangers. I want the Texas Rangers to advance and win a World Series. That way, Brian Cashman has to answer to us, the fan base, why is 2 former Yankee starting pitchers winning the World Series celebrating the championship?
Right. Yeah. It's unfortunate. Unfortunate for us fans to see this happen, but all so often it's happened. We mess these guys up for some reason. I don't know. They come here and they just don't perform. I mean, very rarely do we get a guy. I mean, Garrett Cole's come here and really shown that he's an ace. Other than him, I don't know any other player has come here and thrived. They just can't handle the spotlight. Or it's we talked about the coaching. The coaching just try to change. Like Sonny Gray, they wanted him to throw different pitches.
Rangers have Chapman also.
Chapman's over there too. He's celebrating. I don't know about him. I'd rather not talk about.
No, but it's funny. It's funny that Tyler brought that up. It's funny. Shout out my guy Tyler in the chat.
Yeah. So, I don't know what I don't know what it is. I mean, Matt Blake is a great coach. I think he's a great pitching coach, but for some reason
I think Matt Blake is solid. It's the analytic department that's
the analytic. You're right.
It's the analytics between Matt Blake and what he could do best. Because what Matt Blake could do best, yes, Matt Blake relies heavily on the analytics, but he doesn't rely heavily like the rest of that Yankees front office. He's more of a coach than anything else. That's why everyone outside of baseball, they love Matt Blake when he wasn't a part of any team. He went to Cleveland and then he came to the Yankees. Matt Blake, I think, is fine. I think it's the analytic department that's feeding him too much information because last year, look what him and Garrett Cole worked on. They tried the cutter. It didn't work. They came back this season. Garrett Cole is still throwing the cutter, but not as much as he was last year. Yeah. What Garrett Cole has been able to do, home runs are way down. His home runs are down. His strikeout numbers are down. Garrett Cole understands he doesn't have to strike everybody out in order to get through a game. If he has to get a ground ball, he'll get that ground ball. If he has to get a pop out, he'll get that pop out. I think Garrett Cole, just like Nathan Eovaldi, understands for me to be successful, I don't have to strike out 27 batters a game. Trust in my defense, trust in my infielders, and trust in my outfielders. I know that's kind of hard for Garrett Cole to say when Gleyber Torres is leading all of Major League Baseball and errors at second base, but at the same time, still trust in the teammates that you have behind you to make the play when it presents itself, TC. Yeah.
No, I mean, what comes to mind is Greg Maddux. Greg Maddux didn't have to strike out a lot of people. He pitched 85 pitches, get through a complete game shutout. I mean, that's how you got to do it. You got to learn how to pitch in location. Mike Mussina had to do the same thing. He had to, change his, he wasn't a power pitcher anymore, and he learned how to, locate. You gotta develop, different pitches or just locate, learn how to pitch. You can't just be a hard thrower. Hard throwers are a dime a dozen. They're not, they come and go. You got to know how to pitch. Mariano had one pitch, but he knew how to throw it and he knew how to locate it up, down, left, right. That's how you got to. It's not just throw hard, try to hit it.
And also, I want to add on because we got to talk about the Yankees offseason, right? Because that's something we're going to get into. We're going to switch the topic right now. I understand fans and their frustrations wanting Brian Cashman to improve this team. But the last time the Yankees were a dynasty in the late 90s, I'm not talking about winning a championship in 2009. In the late 90s, look at the players that we relied on. Bernie Williams, Tino Martinez, Paul O'Neill. Those three guys, they were never the top in baseball at their position. No. Paul O'Neill was never the number one ranked right fielder. Bernie Williams was never the number one ranked center fielder. Tino Martinez was never the number one ranked first baseman. What they were ball players. That's what they were. They knew what they did well. Paul O'Neill, he knew he wasn't a home run hitter. They tried to make him a home run hitter in Cincinnati. When he came to the Yankees, they told him, go back to what you do best. And that's line drives, batting average, and on-base percentage.
300 hitter.
Because of that, he was a 300 hitter, and he was almost a 400 on-base percentage every season. But because of that right porch and right field, he was able to crack you 20-plus home runs in Yankee Stadium. So this offseason, Yankee fans, I understand we want the shiny objects. We want Juan Soto. We want Cody Bellinger. We want Jung-hoo Lee. But you got to understand, we need ball players. If any of those guys aren't ball players, they shouldn't be a part of this team. Now, Juan Soto, he's a ball player. Cody Bellinger, he's a ball player. Jung-hoo Lee is a ball player. But you understand what I mean, TC. You don't have to have Hall of Famers at every position in order to be successful. In the mid-2000s, the Yankees did that. We had Sheffield. We had Giambi. We had Alex Rodriguez. It didn't work out. It worked out when we put Nick Swisher in right field. That's when it worked out. When we had Brett Gardner in center field, Melky Cabrera out there, that's when it worked out. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get a lot of stars and try to win. I mean, I don't know, this might be too old for you, but you know, when they had the Pride and Power teams, they had Ricky Henderson, they had Dave Winfield, they had Don Mattingly and Jack Clark and those type. It didn't work. It didn't work. They had an offense, they had no pitching. You know, it just doesn't work when you try to just all get all star players. I mean, the dynasty years, they didn't go get all these star players. They had ball players, you know, they had young kids, they had the core four. That's how you got to do it. And that reminds me of Texas right now. This team lost 102 games 2 years ago and rebuild, and they're almost 2 games away from the World Series with all the young kids and sprinkled in a couple. You know, they got Montgomery, they got Scherzer, they got Navaldi. You know, they picked up Seager, Simeon. They're okay. They're not like, I wouldn't say they're like mega stars. Seager might be the MVP this year, but I mean, they put a bunch of guys around what they had, the core. I mean, what's his name at third? Jung, or oh my God, the plays the kid's making. I mean, this is how you build a team. You get ball players, you sprinkle in. You got Aaron Judge. There's no need to go. I mean, Juan Soto would be great, and I think I would say Soto, and that's it as far as going get these mega stars. Get the ball players around them. You know, we don't need any more Stantons, home run or nothing. Just a big, shiny new toy. I'm just going to hit home runs and do nothing else. We got to get the ball players. We got to get 5 tool guys that can play play defense. They can run a little bit and contact hitters. That's the new philosophy, Yankees. You got to surround yourself with those type guys, the Paul O'Neills, the Tinos, the Bernies. It's just not working what you're doing
players.
now.
Great. Look at what Philly has. Philly is the perfect example. Castellanos, Schwarber, Harper, Trey Turner. Those are ball players. Those are, as a Yankee fan, I am so jealous of the Phillies. Jealous of the Phillies. Imagine Castellanos with that swagger and a Yankee uniform. Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper. If you're a Philly fan out there, enjoy what you have, because as a Yankee fan, I am super jealous of what they built over there. And I've seen a lot of people trying to clown Philly, saying why are they celebrating early? Because they beat the #1 team in baseball when it comes to the Atlanta Braves. I chose the Braves to be in the World Series. Almost everybody chose the Braves to be in the World Series.
I know.
Philly handled them like they were just some chumps on a
2 years in a row.
2 years in a row. And what they said something like, oh man, it's skipping me off the top of my head. They said something like, F the Braves and everybody we face, and always the Mets. That's what they said. They said, F the Braves and everybody we face, but always the Mets. Let's switch the topic.
They don't care about the regular season. This is what counts, and look at what they're doing.
Then you got Rob Thompson, former Yankee bench coach over there.
Yeah, another former Yankee.
Kevin Long, former Yankee hitting coach over there. We got rid of Kevin Long because the hitting wasn't working. Look what he's done in Philly. He went to the Mets. Look what he did to the 2015 Mets when he was a hitting coach. They went to the World Series. He goes to Philly. He goes to the World Series last year, and they could probably get it this year if they finish out the rest of the series against Arizona. But let's switch it up, because you brought up Juan Soto. And we got to talk about Juan Soto. We have to talk about Juan Soto, because this is the #1 ticket out there when it comes to Yankee fans. I was been scouring Twitter, going on different Facebook group chats, and Juan Soto seems like the #1 target for Yankee fans. My guy, Johnny Lasagna, he put out a perfect tweet. He said, you passed on Harper. You passed on Machado. You passed on Corey Seager. If the opportunity presents itself to get Juan Soto, you do it. You can't pass on a talent like this. Be the Yankees and throw your weight around. Be the evil empire. Embrace the moniker of the evil empire. Finally, go get your guy when it comes to Juan Soto. Folks in the chat, let me know. I know how a lot of you guys are feeling when it comes to Soto, but what are you willing to give up? What is the contract you're willing to give to Juan Soto? TC, I'm going to start off with you. Go ahead, big fella.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, it presents itself right now. So this is your opportunity, Cashman, to right the wrongs that you've done and get Juan Soto, whatever it takes. Mm-hmm. There might be one guy, Jason Dominguez, that's off the table. Everybody else, go for it. You got a generational talent in Juan Soto. Perfect for Yankee Stadium. Perfect. Mm-hmm. We need a left fielder. We need protection for Judge. I mean, guys on base all the time. Walks, the short porch, home runs. You got to go out and get them. I mean, whatever it takes. But I'm starting to hear a lot of chatter about Shohei Ohtani again. So
go ahead, TC.
If there's a possibility, I mean, these guys are going to get about the same amount of money. You don't have to give up anything for Shohei. And he's a left-hander, and he also pitches. He won't pitch next year. So I don't know. I don't know if Cashman's got that in the back of his head. Like, hey, everyone thinks we're going to get Juan Soto. Ohtani's still out there. And I said this the other day somewhere, I think in the chat. No, the payroll should not be an issue. Winning should be the number one issue. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. The Shohei and Juan Soto chatter is back again. So it's like, what do you do?
I love the idea of Shohei Ohtani in a Yankee uniform. But the reality is, as long as Giancarlo Stanton is on this roster, there's no way for us to play Shohei. There's no way for us. Now, if the Yankees come out and say we're going to sign Shohei, we're going to eat the $100 million owed to Giancarlo Stanton, I'll shut up and I'll be the happiest person in the room. Yeah. Reality comes into mind, and I don't think that could be reality.
Yeah, that's the number one thing. Yeah.
Also, when it comes to Shohei Ohtani, and we'll get to Jung-hoo Lee because I see people talking about Jung-hoo Lee. When it comes to Shohei Ohtani, he's going to want to stay on the West Coast. You got to understand, traveling back home to Japan, it is a 9 to 11 hour difference if you're on the West Coast compared to the East Coast. Now, taking a trip back to Japan, it's basically the entire day. It's like 20 hours. Yeah. If you can save yourself 9 hours or 11 hours, you're going to want to do it. And that's what Shohei cares about. I think ultimately Shohei, he's going to get wined and dined by the Dodgers. But I think Shohei, because he has so much love and affection and admiration for Ichiro, he's going to wind up in Seattle. Shohei's going to Seattle. If he doesn't go to Seattle, he's going to the San Francisco Giants, only because the San Francisco Giants, that name, the Giants, is also the name of like the number one team in Japan when it comes to legacy teams. You got the Yankees with that logo, but in Japan, the Giants over there are like the Yankees when it comes to legacy and when it comes to history. So he can either go to the Mariners because his connections to Ichiro, or he's going to sign with the Giants just because of that team name and how the marketing going back home to Japan, going to play against the Japanese Giants and the San Francisco Giants. It's all about marketing. So I think those are the two teams he's going to wind up with. He's going to get wined and dined by the Dodgers. The Dodgers are going to do everything they can to sign him. He won't sign with them. He's going to sign with the Giants or with the Mariners. That's just my prediction. My guy Ruben also said Kevin Long was also the hitting coach for the 2019 World Series Nationals. But for some reason, he couldn't stay as a hitting coach with the Yankees. Ruben, again, thank you for the $5 super chat. Shout out
because they're all analytics. They don't want to listen to a hitting coach. He just reads off the analytics. That's all they.
My guy, Senor Acevedo with the fire. He says, Hector, the thing with Soto is that his agent is Scott Boras. So you can't trade for him because Boris, he does have a history. He doesn't like to sign extensions. He likes to play the free agent games. That's the reason A-Rod dropped him in 2007. Acevedo, you are absolutely right. That's the thing you also have to worry about. Do you go all in with your prospects, take the gamble that Juan Soto is going to re-sign with you in free agency, or do you sit back with your prospects, wait another year, and go out there and sign Juan Soto? That's the thing you have to figure out. And the Yankees, they're in a tight spot right now because I don't think the Yankees could say, we're just going to wait this year. We're going to have another dud year, and we're going to wait till next offseason to sign Juan Soto. That's a year removed from Garrett Cole. That's a year removed from Aaron Judge. You can't waste that. You have to attack right now in their prime. Now, if that's doing another move and pivoting off of Juan Soto until next offseason, that's yet to see. But if I'm the Yankees, I'm going to try to do what I can to trade for Juan Soto and sign him when it comes to a contract extension. Again, shout out to my guys over at Fireside Yankees, because there was a report that was going around. The Yankees are reportedly seen as the legitimate suitors for the Padres superstar Juan Soto this offseason. The team could also acquire former Yankee Matt Carpenter as part of a potential package as well to eat some of that payroll with the San Diego Padres. And also, Jay Cronenworth is also another contract that the Yankees could absorb and eat from the Padres. So you'll be saving the Padres $20 million a season by absorbing Matt Carpenter and Cronenworth's contract, along with prospects like Spencer Jones, Chase Hampton, whoever else you want to put in there. One prospect you got to keep your hands off is Will Warren. That interview I had with Will Warren, I love that young man. I want to see him succeed with the Yankees. But when it comes to Juan Soto, this is when Brian Cashman, the Yankees front office, you got to get creative. Flex your financial muscle. You're the number one team in baseball when it comes to finances. You're the second most valued sport for franchise in North American sports behind the Cowboys. Stop trying to play like you're a small market team. You're not in Cincinnati. You're not in Minnesota. You're in New York City, the capital of the world.
Yes. Yeah.
Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, it just brings up some difficult decisions to make for Cashman, because if you bring in Juan Soto with the trades, do you? I mean, are you going to sign him to a long-term extension? I don't think Cashman's going to go ahead and trade if he doesn't extend his contract.
Not with that attitude.
No, I just don't see it. I mean, yes, this helps with bringing in a Carpenter and Cronenworth. They might lessen the prospects that go back to San Diego, but yeah, that's going to be it's difficult. It's difficult to see Cashman pulling that off and being okay with giving up prospects for a rental, basically 1 year, and then having to deal with a free agent. You know, now does Juan Soto stay? And I mean, he's going to want $500 million. So it's going to be very creative this year, this off season. I don't know. There's the Ohtani thing. Yeah, that's just just chatter. I don't think that the Yankees will have even a shot at that. He's a West Coast guy. I just thought maybe he. I think I heard that he was willing to play on the East Coast, but that might just be to get the Yankees. Just get the hype up, you have to get the Yankees involved to get the price up. So
now,
yeah, they're limited now. They're limited to what they can go for.
Now, this is just my feeling when it comes to Juan Soto. Like I've always said, Scott Boras is waiting to see what Shohei Ohtani gets, right? Yeah. Like I've said before, Aaron Judge's contract is the floor. Juan Soto is the ceiling. I mean, Shohei is the ceiling. Judge is the floor. Shohei is the ceiling. Juan Soto is going to be close to Shohei, but not past him. So he's waiting to see what Shohei Ohtani gets in order to sit down with a team or sit down with Scott Boras to try to figure out what he wants to get. Now that Shohei Ohtani may not get as much because he's not going to be pitching next year, we got to see what happens with Shohei. The Juan Soto sweepstakes or the Juan Soto contract negotiation, it's all hanging on the threads of what Shohei Ohtani gets. If Shohei Ohtani decides to sign I'm just saying hypothetically, I don't know any reports, but if Shohei says, you know what, I'm going to sign a 1 year or a 2 year deal, go back into free agency, I think Juan Soto, he's not going to be willing to sign that massive contract extension because he wants to wait to see what a Shohei Ohtani gets. That's just me. Shout out to my guy Rod Thompson with the $9.99 super chat. Yankees really need to go back to using money as their superpower. Bingo. Get the hitters that use Yankee Stadium as their strength, not as a weakness. This is gut check time. And a lot of things have been made. I'm going to leave this up from Rob. A lot of comments have come out critiquing Brian Cashman and the analytic department, rightfully deserved, when it comes to how heavy our lineup is when it comes to right-handed hitters. The logic behind it was because Yankee Stadium has a short porch in right field. When the shift was on, the right fielder was coming up, 3 infielders on that one side. It took a lot of hits away from left-handed hitters. But now that the switch is gone, you can't switch how you was doing, like how Tampa was doing back in the days. You can't switch like that. You need to get more left-handed hitters in that lineup because look how good Anthony Rizzo looked that first month of the season. How good did he look with that shift gone?
Yeah,
over 300 batting average, 11 home runs,
a
lot of extra at bats. I mean, a lot of extra base hits.
Yeah.
Also, make sure you guys tune in later on today. I won't be available for that, but my guy TC Stills and my guy Gio, Unpopular Opinion, will be leading the conversation with my guy Nathan Ramachandra in the NNR Hour. Yankees pitching prospect Alexander Mauricio will be joining the show later on today at 5 p.m. You guys make sure you tune into that. The conversation we had with Will Warren was amazing. The conversation that they had with Frank the Tank was also amazing. So shout out to my guy Nathan. Shout out to the entire NNR Hour for setting up these dope interviews and conversation because they are great conversations at the end of the day. Going back to the chat real quick, my guy Retired Warvet said, I mentioned yesterday when George ran the team, he got who he wanted. He wasn't nicknamed the boss by accident. That was the evil empire. Until Howe's like that, unfortunately, I wouldn't expect much. And Warvet, you make a solid point. But like I said on the last show, when it comes to Hal Steinbrenner, I have zero faith in Brian Cashman. I have zero faith in Randy Levine. I have zero faith in Fishman. The only faith, and it's a little bit of faith I have, is the fact that Hal Steinbrenner was embarrassed this season and last season, not only by the fan base, but also by the media. The back page was not nice to Hal Steinbrenner this season and going into the offseason. Hal, open up that wallet, do what you can to improve this team because we are in desperate need of an improvement. TC, what's your thoughts to that? And I'm going to put the link in the chat to get the open panel going. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, he has to open up the checkbook. It's now or never. You got to do it this off season. You got to spend some money. The trade market, other than Juan Soto, I don't see anybody else they can get. They're going to have to go out and get the Yamamoto, get Bellinger, get Jung-hoo Lee, get whoever's out there. That there's a Yariel Rodriguez, I heard, a Cuban reliever. I mean, they just got to go out and get everybody. I mean, there's another Japanese, Yuki Matsui, a 27-year-old left-handed reliever. Another guy. Go get him. Just get everybody. These guys are ball players. I'm sure they're, we'll see what our coaching staff does to them, but go out and get the best of the best you can right now.
Shout out to my brother Pete Seminetti from NYY Underground. My guy Pete says Soto 2024. Okay, I'm out. Have a great show, fellas. Pete, my brother, the Italian stallion Seminetti. Shout out to my brother. And also Italian Spartan is in the building. Until the Yankees start spending big, they are doomed. They're wasting Cole's prime years 100%. And you gotta love the Italian flavor when it comes to that one. TC, right? How you doing? But the link for the open panel is in the chat. You guys are more than welcome to jump on the open panel. Join the conversation with me and TC Stills. But like always, we gotta respect YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook terms of services. If you guys come on the open panel, let's be nice to everybody, right? Let's not be mean. Let's not be jerks or whatever. If somebody's in the middle of giving their take, let them finish. That way you will be allowed to finish your take and no one will cut you off. So the link is in the chat. Whoever wants to jump up, you're more than welcome to jump up as me and TC continue the conversation. But we got to switch gears to another outfielder that has been linked and rumored to the Yankees, and that's Jung-hoo Lee.
There we go.
It seems like the Yankees, not only were they scouting Yamamoto, but they were also heavily scouting Jung-hoo Lee. When it comes to Jung-hoo Lee, we've talked about his amazing bat-to-ball skills. We talked about his legendary strikeout rate. I think his MVP season, he struck out 6% of the time. That's crazy. An amazing on-base percentage, phenomenal defender, and he has amazing speed as well. Perfect leadoff hitter for the New York Yankees. He could play all three outfield positions, center, left, and right field. I think Jung-hoo Lee would be the perfect candidate to be in left field. Same way Matsui was a center fielder in Japan, and the Yankees brought him over to play left field. Bring over Jung-hoo Lee to be our left fielder of the future. When it comes to Jung-hoo Lee,
totally agree.
His contract also is going to be a lot cheaper than what Juan Soto wants or what Cody Bellinger wants when it comes to a contract extension. Jung-hoo Lee, I know a lot of people were saying this is the next Ichiro, but you can calm that down. I think he'll be a more athletic and a better version of Shinjo Lee. I'm not sure if you remember him. He was with the Guardians. Then he went to Texas for a while, but he was another phenomenal Korean player that came over. I may be mispronouncing his name, but I'm going to bring up my guy Ruben to join us in the conversation. Hold on. Let me just switch this up. My guy Ruben, how you doing? Hold on. Wait.
What's up, guys?
Chilling, bro. Wait, let me just make sure this is fine. Hold on 1 second. Technical difficulties.
There we go.
Okay. What's up, Ruben?
No, all good, bro. All good. Glad to join you guys today. Thank you as always. And,
Star Wars.
I was about to say, I love that jacket, bro.
Yeah, my dad got me this the other day.
Nice.
That's nice.
But yeah, let's see. Where do we start?
What was the name of that Korean outfielder that came over? Shinjo Lee. I don't want to butcher his name. He came over. He played with the Guardians. Then he signed with the Texas Rangers. Left-handed hitting outfielder.
Shin-Soo Choo.
There you go, Shin-Soo Choo. A lot of people.
He started. He started with the Mariners. Got traded from the Mariners to Cleveland, and then ended up going to Cincinnati for 1 year, and then went into Texas for that 7-year deal.
Yeah, and when you look at the comparisons, a lot of people saying that Jung-hoo Lee is a more athletic version than him, better on base percentage, and a better defender as well. Listen, if we could get Jung-hoo Lee to sign $50-60 million contract for 5 or 6 seasons, and we could get Shin-Soo Lee type of production, I'll take that, especially for that price range.
Yeah, no, I mean that would be a nice deal for sure. I'm still more like it's a nice piece, but I still think it's hard for me to go after him knowing that like we can go get Soto. So like that's the hard part for me.
I'm right there with you.
So, but I mean, if Soto doesn't become available, then I guess that's one way we could go.
Copy. So besides the Juan Soto, you heard the conversation we was having earlier today when it comes to Jordan Montgomery. What's your thoughts on Monty? I know you text me, you sent me some information, but let the people know what's your thoughts on Monty, what's your thoughts on Soto, and where should the Yankees go before we jump into the conversation on Jung-hoo Lee?
Yeah, when it comes to Monty, I mean, I'd definitely be open to him coming back to the Yankees. I was one of the ones that was really pissed when he got traded. I've always been a big Monty guy, so my thinking with him has always been that Boone was always limiting his success because his starts never were like big blow up starts. He was always in pitching in close games. So you would think a guy with so much experience,
he didn't get the run support
in close games because of that run support issue. Then you would have thought he said, okay, well I can let the leash go. I can go and let him go a little bit deeper. He's rolling today. He got 82 pitches in 6 innings. Maybe let him go 7. Maybe let him go 6 when he's in pitch 80 pitches in 5 innings. But he wouldn't do that. And the moment he got in trouble in the 5th or 6th, it's like Boone has this like default, oh, get the bullpen in.
Yep.
But it's like, come on, bro. Like we need you're wearing out our bullpen, and then and I love that stat that you threw out the other day because I was able to catch up to the last episode. You mentioned that we're in the bottom 5 of inherited runners. So and that's the part right there. Everybody like I was looking at, and I knew that had to be the case because I knew that our ERA was phenomenal as a bullpen, but I knew there were so many times that we brought in a starter. And we ended up actually giving up those runs. So it always made me think about it's like our pitching is much better than what Boone is allowing it to be. So, but me, Monty should have never been traded in the first place. That's just me.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. I'm still 50-50 when it comes to that. Because like I said earlier, Ruben, not sure if you heard it. Yeah. I really feel that if the Yankees do not have Harrison Bader in that lineup, we don't get past Cleveland.
That could be the case. That could be the case.
We went to 5 games with Harrison Bader and what he was doing. So just imagine us not having Harrison Bader.
Yeah, he was the whole
we could have got swept by Cleveland, honestly, because Judge wasn't.
I would have preferred the sweep, to be honest.
Because then we would have had to deal with Cashman and Boone probably not getting those extensions. Yeah. So I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
I would have dealt with that just because the pitching has never been the issue. And the offense, okay, I'm going to go fix the offense by getting Harrison Bader. A guy that's never been a big offensive bat. Yeah. He had a little bit of a hot streak in the postseason, but then this season, his batting average was one of his best years, which I did like. He struck out at a career low. Like he was doing a lot of good things. It's just that he didn't get enough reps because of the injuries. And that's another thing. Why are you training for an injury-prone player? We already have more than enough injury-prone players. And that's what I liked about Monty. Monty has that build where he's going to stay healthy. He missed some time, but it was only because of Tommy John. Besides that, every year in his career, he's never had an injury.
Yeah. He made 32 starts this season.
And last season, and then 2021 was the same thing. So he has 3 straight years of 30-plus starts. We he's not a playoff pitcher. Guys, he wouldn't be in our rotation in the postseason.
Yeah. Look at him now.
It's annoying. And then you bring up the bullpen, right? And it's easy for your bullpen to have the best ERA if the runs that they're giving up, it's not their runs.
Yep.
If those runs are allocated to the starting pitchers, of course you're gonna have the best bullpen.
You know how many times Nick Ramirez give up those runs?
You had Clark Smith coming out the game. He allowed runners on first and second. Nick Ramirez would come in. Both those runners would score. Those runs are targeted towards Clark Smith, not the bullpen, not to Nick Ramirez. So yes, our bullpen had the best ERA in baseball. But like I said, Ruben, when it comes to inherited runners, we were in the bottom 5, bottom 10 in all of Major League Baseball.
And that's on
allowing
Boom.
Those runs to score. And that's on Boom. It's bullpen management, and it's a negligence at the highest order.
Because they can't pitch more than 2 days in a row, according to him. But those are guidelines. That's the part that pisses me off. Those are guidelines. You, at the end of the day, make the decision on those guidelines.
Yeah.
And if you know that you're not in first place, that those guidelines can go out the freaking window.
We just need to win games. That we don't have to worry about.
You're not in first place with a 10-game lead. That's when you use those guidelines to keep them healthy. But if not, what's the point?
Guy Patrick Sinclair in the chat. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. My brother Anthony Medina, mi hermano de la Islas in the building. Medina, how you doing? Dr. Hiskins is in the building, but he said the best thing that happened to Monty was leaving the Yankees. He became a better pitcher with the Rangers. And like I said earlier, Ruben, and I'll throw it over to TC, this starts to become an issue with the philosophy, with how things are run. It's not only the manager's fault, the GM. It's the philosophy that has been put in place so these players can feed off of. If you have a bad philosophy, if you have bad leadership, of course you're going to get bad results from the players. And I know we got a couple more people that are backstage. I'll bring you guys up as we continue. But TC, I want to throw it to you. Speak on the Yankees philosophy before we bring up Jerry to the convo.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to go from the top down, from all the minors all the way through to the majors. You can see it from 2009 to now. whatever they're doing, it's not working. It's not. I mean, like I brought up, Texas has been to the World Series twice, did a complete rebuild, and they're almost back again. And the Yankees haven't been to the World Series. So their philosophy is just not working. Their scouting, their development, their hitting, the way they coach, using the use of analytics is just terrible. It needs to be thrown out. They need to have more management, like Bruce Bochy. Love the way that guy manages a game. I mean, just the way you feel of the game. He knew, I'm trusting Nathan Eovaldi to get out of this situation. He got himself in. He's the best guy for this. I'm not bringing in another guy to try to, get in the middle of this spotlight. His bases loaded. Who wants to come into a bases loaded, no out jam? Not exactly. fresh out of the bullpen. So Eovaldi was the best guy.
Bullpen arms.
Exactly. So the management needs to change. Analytics. I mean, it all needs to go. But knowing the way the Yankees are going lately, they're not going to change a thing. It's sad. It's just sad.
Mm-hmm.
I do think
before we continue, before we continue, we got 50 people in the building. If you guys can just smack that like button. I think we're sitting on 39 likes right now. So let's try to get the stream up to 50 likes, get more people to join the conversation. Go ahead, Rubes.
And I think there's also that deficiency in the Yankees analytics department, I think, where it seems like a lot of their ability to how you mentioned, like, the left-handed hitters used to be an issue because of the shifts, right? And that's what became the downfall for the mid 2010s for us, because we couldn't get enough hits from the lefties, right? And then we started straying away from it. So I think a lot of the analytics that the Yankees have, it's geared towards right-handed hitters and right-handed pitchers, and I don't think they have enough of an understanding on how to deal with lefties, both on the hitting side, both on the pitching side. Because if you look at it, a lot of the pitching arms that we have, they're all right-handed, and I don't think, and I think part of that was because they didn't really care for lefties for a period of time, but now it's make them worse when it comes to understanding how lefties need to pitch in Yankee Stadium. So if Monty would have had used that four-seam fastball more, and the Yankees would have just said, hey, forget the fact that he doesn't throw that hard. Even though he every year that he's had away from Tommy John, his fastball's actually gotten better. He's averaging 93.6 now. Back then when he first came up, he was averaging 89, 91. Yeah. So that's another thing with him, is that with they don't tailor their stats to the player. They tailor their analytics to, this is what we wanted you to look like. And we want everyone to look this way. And if we know anything in baseball, if everyone is the same, then at some point the adjustment's gonna come and everyone's gonna go ahead and just smash you, because you can't. You gotta adjust and you gotta have different looks. That's why Cortez is so effective in a rotation with Cole. He's a lefty. He's also not super hard throwing, but then you have the power righty with Cole, and then now you go to the power lefty in Rodon, because they give you different looks, and there's not enough of that diversity of skill and ability within the Yankees overall.
Yeah, and I got Jerry backstage. I'm gonna bring him up. I just want to say this one thing. It still falls on, for me, the scouting. The scouting has been an issue, and it is an issue with the New York Yankees. There should be no reason, and I know, again, hindsight 50-50. If we're drafting a shortstop, and Ruben, you got two options in front of you. Both kids are from high school. One is Anthony Volpe, who's a right-hand hitter who's a bit small. The other one is Gunnar Henderson, who is a left-hand hitting shortstop, a better fielder, and a bigger body. There should be no reason that Anthony Volpe was taken before Gunnar Henderson. Whoever was the scout that made that decision should be fired.
Agreed. Right. Because at this point, you should still have prioritized balance in your lineup. And every single team that comes into Yankee Stadium, even when they used to have the shift, they used to kill us because when they had a heavy lefty lineup, they still knew that there was still value in a lefty, even though the shift was around.
Yeah.
So,
and when it comes to the Orioles too, ever since Adley Rutschman came up to the big leagues, the Orioles have been a team over 500. So with Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman, they're over 500. The days of the Baltimore Orioles being the bottom dwellers of the AL East, those days are over because of those young two guys.
Was the first time they got swept in the Adley Rutschman era. That was the first time they've ever gotten swept in a series since Adley's been called up this postseason. That's a long time.
Wow.
My guy, Dr. Hiskin, says the Yankees are doing a new promotion. First 100 fans at the stadium get a Yankee blankie and a Boonie baked oven. That's what I'm talking about. That's something to look forward to next season. But I want to bring up my guy, big time Jerry Cadill. Jerry, how you doing, you handsome devil? You
great. God bless you guys. Great.
Amen, amen.
My stomach feels good now, but wait till the 2024 season.
Oh, Jerry, I'm working on a sponsorship for Tums just for you, Jerry. That way you can have all the Tums you need this season coming up. But Jerry,
nice sweatshirt. You trying to match or what? What's going on?
Little carbon copy.
The weather is cooler now. We're bundling up.
Nice. But Jerry, you've been listening to the conversation when it comes to Juan Soto, when it comes to Jordan Montgomery. Where do you sit at? Do you want the Yankees to bring back Jordan Montgomery? Or do you think the Yankees need to switch gears? What's your thoughts on that before we get into our last topic, which would be Giancarlo Stanton? Go ahead, Jerry.
Well, let me tell you, Hector, Monty's going to throw the cigar at Cashman for what he did to him. Todd is right. They didn't give enough runs to Monty. He had to have precision pitching because they limited him with runs. Look at the difference in Texas. They give him bundles of runs. He can pitch differently. That's the difference when you have hitters versus clowns that bat 180, 175, not even 200. They're below the Mendoza line.
Way below.
The last time I was under 200, I think I was in junior high school. The last time I was under 200.
Damn, bro, I haven't been under 200 since I turned 20.
No, but you bring up a great point when it comes to Jordan Montgomery and Brian Cashman. I think Jordan Montgomery, he's going to have that in the back of his head. The same way that nowadays, every time Jeter talks about the Yankees, we know he's throwing shade at Brian Cashman. Brian Cashman has been around too long and has spurned more guys than actually like him. If you get what I'm saying. That's why I love to bring up the fact that when you see Aaron Judge having conversations about the team, he shows all the support for Aaron Boone. He says nothing about Brian Cashman or the leadership. He throws more shade on them than anything else. Go ahead, TC. I'll throw it over to you. And then we're going to get into the conversation when it comes to Giancarlo Stanton. Matter of fact, before you do that, TC, I'm sorry. Before you do that, there was something that was going around. I think it was on Talking Yankees with John Boy and Jake. I want to ask you guys, who would you rather have? Would you rather have a hitter that has an on-base percentage of 750 but has a batting average of runners in scoring position at 300? Or would you rather have a guy with an 850 on OPS but has a batting average of 260 with runners in scoring position? I started over with you, Ruben. Who would you rather have first? What do you think is more important? A higher batting average with runners in scoring position or a higher OPS?
That depends on the spot of the lineup. Because to me, it's a little bit twofold. Like, you want to make sure that, like, if it's a 750 OPS and you want them more in the lower part of the lineup where they're not as much of a power threat, but they'll be willing to drive in those middle of the order bats with the contact. If we're going into the middle of the order, 260 is like the lowest batting average I would like in the middle of the order. But it all depends on their profile. Like, are they a big strikeout person? Are they a slugging percentage guy? Because that 850 OPS could be more of an on-base type of situation. So if that's an on-base situation, then I would want that 850 OPS as a leadoff option and have the 750 OPS be the one and lower in the order. But neither of those two profile to me as a 2, 3, 4, 5 hitter.
Yeah.
So those are to me they're top of the order or lower low in the order. But you can't have a homogenized lineup where they're all the same.
Bingo. Facts. Go ahead, Jerry. What do you think is more important? A higher batting average with runners in scoring position or a higher OBS?
Yeah, Ruben is right on target about that. Too many strikeout hitters we have, and that's our major problem. We've got to cut down on the strikeouts, and we've got to get more on base guys to drive in the runs. Judge would have drove in more runs if we had more men on base. Volpe can't be in the top of the line, at the head of the line.
He ain't ready.
He's not ready. He's a good ball player. I like him. I like him very much, he should move to second base as well. I think he should be at second base. He'd be a great second baseman. But Ruben said it all. He hit everything right on the nose.
And then my guy Ness just says something in the chat. He said, bro, it's not that serious. They making it too hard on these things. You can just see why. Do you need an SAT to know Harper is the guy? Facts. You don't need to have a perfect score on the SAT to tell you that Bryce Harper should have been a Yankee or Manny Machado should have been a Yankee. 100%. Ness. TC, I want to throw it over to you. When it comes to those stats, what do you think is more important? A higher average with runners in scoring position or OPS? What's your thoughts before we bring up Sunil, who's backstage? And Sunil's eating Sunil's eating an orange. He's eating a multi-grain muffin right now. He's eating turkey bacon, everything. Go ahead, TC.
He's not cooking?
Is he dressed?
Is he in the bathroom?
He's dressed. He's dressed. That's a positive. Sunil's backstage dressed, so that's a positive.
Playing pickleball?
Go ahead, TC.
Ruben nailed it. I want a high OPS. I want a high on base guy. Runners in scoring position is good. I mean, we need that too, but we need on base guys. We just don't have a high enough on base. I mean, we just strike out. My dad said
we need both.
Strike out way too much.
Way too much.
Yeah, we need both. We need both.
We need everything. We need. I mean, can we get it all? I mean, I don't know if it's a quick fix, but yeah, we need guys to get on base and Aaron Judge and hopefully Juan Soto will drive him in. So,
hey, real quick, I gotta get going, but I did want to say one last thing because I have something coming up. You're welcome, man. But yeah, so basically, the way I look at it is that we just need to get the better hitters overall. They can hit both runners in scoring position, no one in scoring position. And one of my favorite parts of this postseason, even though I haven't been watching much of it, I just kind of keep tabs here and there, is that I love that I would love to see a Philly, Texas Rangers World Series. And you know why for me? Because in marks of all of Cashman's failures, he didn't go after a Bryce Harper, who was clearly a middle of the order back. Because that's another thing too. People today don't like. They used to talk about this a lot back in the day, right? Back in the early 2000s, the 90s, the 80s. They used to always tell you that guy is not a middle of the order bat, and then you would look at his numbers and you're like, oh, but his numbers are so good. And it's like, yeah, because he was the number 7 hitter in that lineup. So it makes you realize that not everyone that has a great OPS and a great slash line of batting average on base and everything is meant to be in the middle of the order. Some of those folks, they need to be in the lower part of the order because they're not actual 3 and 4 hitters. They're actually 5 and 6 hitters because they can't hit the pitching, the type of pitches that a 3 and 4 hitter get. Fact. So then that's another part we got to look into. When we look at the batting average, look at the stats, it's like he's not a 3-4 hitter, but his stats look like a 3-4 hitter, but it's because he's really supposed to be a 5-6 hitter. They don't look at that anymore. So by looking at Harper, that was a clear middle of the order bat. Right. And he's shown it in the postseason because he hits good pitching no matter what the situation is. And then on top of that, you have the on the Texas side, you have Duran, former Yankee. You also have Montgomery, who is a former Yankee. Evaldi's a former Yankee. Even though I don't blame Cashman for Evaldi, he was a Tommy John surgery. I get it. Like I'm not mad about Evaldi, but it does show some of Cashman's mistakes. And we don't need a left-handed hitter in the middle of the order. Well, Bryce Harper's taking his team into back-to-back World Series potentially. Then you got Jordan Montgomery. Oh, he's not a playoff pitcher. Guess what? He's a playoff pitcher, and he's leading them to the World Series.
So you're a hot house, Cashman.
Yep. So
Kinda
that's what
harder.
I'm liking about it. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna let you guys go.
Ruben, I
You guys have a
appreciate
wonderful
you
day.
like always. Ruben, we got to talk because I want to get you on these interviews that we do, like with the Yankees prospects and stuff. So I'll message you now that I got your phone number. Me and Ruben was talking about anime
se
last
murió.
night. I love it. Right. So, you know what I mean? That's my guy right there. But, Rube, I appreciate you, my guy. All is well. You be safe. And until next time, Ruben. Let Ruben
All right,
go.
Ruben.
I think his
God
phone
bless.
just died and
God
froze. And we got Sunil. Sunil, let me get a thumbs up if you're ready to come up. Okay. My guy, Sudi.
Hey,
Yeah.
Tony.
How you doing,
Hey,
sister?
Sunil.
Sunil, I just want to let you know, when you text me, I was watching Digimon, so that's why I wasn't able to get back to you. The new
Yeah, we know where
anime
you
on
we,
Hulu.
we
I apologize.
yeah, we know where your priorities are.
I'm so sorry, Sunil. You are one of my priorities. I neglected you.
Is that a Fire Canada shirt? No.
It's a Canada Dry shirt. But Sunil, you've been listening
Put
to the
fire over that.
conversation. Jung-hoo Lee, Juan Soto, Jordan Montgomery. What's your thoughts before we jump into our last topic, which is Giancarlo Stanton? Go ahead.
Oh,
Sunil.
you want? Yeah, I'll address this topic, but you definitely want to know what I think about Giancarlo Stanton. If you watch,
I want to hear you on this first, and then you'll lead the conversation for Stanton. Go ahead, Sunil.
Yeah. So basically, Soto, I've said that he's more of a redundancy to having a Dominguez. Unfortunately, Dominguez is out with the ACL injury. So that, to me, that seems to be somewhat of a redundancy, especially when you see the week to 10 days worth of sample set we got from Dominguez last year before the unfortunate incident happened. That being said, I'm not against it. I just think if we can go for a combination of Soto, Jung-hoo Lee, we can get Monty back and Yamamoto. 4 people. These are the 4 people I'd like to see to fill our holes.
Okay, so you said Yamamoto, Jung-hoo Lee, Juan Soto, and Jordan Montgomery. Those 4.
Yes.
Do you have a pecking order of who should be 1, 2, 3, 4, or no particular order?
As long as we get all 4, I don't care what the order is.
Yeah.
Copy. Jerry, I want to throw it over to you. You heard what Sunil just said. Do you have a particular order at who the Yankees should target? Who is more of a priority for you? And then throw it over to TC.
The priority is Yamamoto. We need that pitcher. I mean, they Cashman went to see him pitch a no-hitter. I think Howell was there as well. So I think that's the top priority. Definitely I want Soto, 24 years old, and he'd solve our left field requirements. We definitely need him. Yeah. Monty, I don't think Monty's going to come back. I really don't. I think he likes to spot that beard, and that's not going to be welcomed at Yankee Stadium. You know their policy.
Yeah, so definitely not.
Yeah, I love Monty. I love Monty too.
You know what's interesting, and I had to take a dive into this because I keep bringing up the fact that Hal Steinbrenner wasn't at the Old Timers game this year because he was booed at the stadium last year at the Old Timers Day and Derek Jeter's Day. Do you know where Hal Steinbrenner was for Old Timers Day?
He was in Japan, right?
He was in Japan. He was scouting Yamamoto with Brian Cashman. Now, that could be either he didn't want to deal with the fans and getting booed, or he wants to make sure that the Yankees scout the guy properly and he's out there with them, right? So that could be Hal Steinbrenner putting the battery or the fire under Brian Cashman to make sure we get Yamamoto, because when Aaron Judge was a free agent, who was the one who got that deal done? It was Hal Steinbrenner.
Yeah.
Normally, I don't think any of us remember. Jerry, do you remember George Steinbrenner going to Japan to scout Hideki Matsui?
No, I do not.
How about, do you remember him going to Japan to scout the Toad that he was making fun of? I forgot his name.
Arabu?
Rest in peace, Arabu. Did he go to Japan to scout Arabu?
I don't believe so.
So I want to believe, as a Yankee fan, how Steinbrenner going and scouting Yamamoto with the front office is a good sign. I want to believe that. But at the same time, the opposite coin is he didn't want to get booed at the stadium because of Old Timers Day. So that's the other side of the coin. TC, what's your thoughts on that? And then we'll jump into Giancarlo Stanton, and we'll have Sunil kick off the conversation.
Yeah, I think Hal's starting to wise up, and he knows that he needs to step in and make some decisions here because, like you said, he's getting embarrassed from all sides, fans, media, everywhere. So
All good, Razil.
my priority, I probably have to say, yeah, Yamamoto. I would say he's number one for me. I would have Soto second, but that just seems such a reach because of just trusting Cashman to make some deal and the extension and everything like that. And then Lee would be probably my third, and then what was the last one? I would say Candelario. I would have him in there somewhere. I think he would be a good get.
Now I like
well.
Candelario. Don't get me wrong, I like Candelario. You know, during the season, that Jason Lane and Candelario, those are guys that I think the Yankees should have went after at the trade deadline, right? But when it comes to Candelario, I'm not sure if the season he had last year was just an anomaly and he's going to regress to what he has been in his career. So that's the only question mark I have when it comes to Candelario. Did he have an amazing year last year? Amazing. He's a switch hitter. He's awesome. But I'm scared that Candelario could turn into a Raul Mondesi situation with the Yankees. He had one good year, became a free agent. The Yankees signs him, and he regressed to what he was. So that's the only question marks I have about Candelario. Would he keep progressing when it comes to his ability, or will he regress and become like Raul Mondesi did when the Yankees signed him after Paul O'Neill retired? Because when Paul O'Neill retired, we signed Raul Mondesi. He didn't even last the whole season with the Yankees before the Yankees traded for him.
Get him too late in their careers. That's a problem. We can't do that anymore.
Get Gio back from the Angels.
Yeah. I forgot to put Bellinger in there. Bellinger would be right there with Soto.
Gio
right after
Estrella,
Yamamoto.
as much as I would love to see him come back, that I think of the pelvis injury, it's the same thing with the hips. Once your hips go away from you as a Major League Baseball player, your career. Look what DJ LeMahieu. At the end of the season, DJ was able to bounce back.
Right.
Will DJ do that next year? I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sold on DJ doing what he did at the end of the season for a full season, if you understand what I'm saying.
And then a year older, and he's becoming a year older.
Like Ruben says, Candelario is supposed to be a 7, 8, and 9 hitter. If they sign him to be a 3, 4, and 5, you will regret that 100%, Ruben. You can't go out there, sign Candelario, and expect him to be in the middle of your lineup type hitter like Ruben was talking about earlier. He's a 7, 8, and 9 hitter. So I would stay away from Candelario.
Look what Booney did. He kept shuffling the lineup. Bauer batting first, and then he'd have DJ once in a while, Glaber way up front. He'd be switching. He had Volpe on top, then he puts him in ninth. He kept switching the lineup.
Yeah. Italia Spartan says, would you go after Snell? I'm going to ask you, Sunil, go ahead. Would you go after Snell?
Snell is a Scott Boras guy. It's going to cost us money. And knowing the Yankees' recent history of not wanting to spend, I'm inclined to say they probably prioritize Yamamoto and Monty or any other left-handed starting pitching over Snell. Even though I don't object to getting Snell. Let me be clear about that. I just think the financial reasons are going to be an inhibitor.
It's going to be 30+ mil a year.
He's probably going to go to Baltimore. He's probably go to Baltimore.
If Baltimore opens up their pocketbooks, that would be the perfect
pitching.
They need a number one. Yeah. I see we got Sean brought in backstage. Sean, I'm going to bring you up in a second. I just want to say this real quick. When it comes to Snell, he is a more established MLB commodity than Yamamoto, right? He's going to demand more money than Yamamoto. But Yamamoto has a higher upside because he's younger. He's going to be a lot cheaper, and the ceiling will be a lot higher for Yamamoto. If Yamamoto can come over to the States and he could figure it out, because the Japanese league, they compare that to like AAA or a higher version of AAA. If you put up those numbers in a higher version than AAA, he should be able to adjust at the States. And the big reason, I keep on saying this, why I like Yamamoto, and I don't think it's that much of a gamble to go after him. I know a lot of people, they bring up Daisuke and his arm issues. Tanaka and his arm issues. Yu Darvish and his arm issues. The reason why I don't have those concerns with Yamamoto is because when Yamamoto was in high school and coming into the MPB, he was a reliever. He doesn't have those innings on his arms like Dice K did in high school. He doesn't have those innings on his arms like Yu Darvish did coming out of high school. He was a reliever at first. So he doesn't have all those innings on his shoulder like those other Japanese pitchers do. Now, Sunil, you want to add something on before I bring Sean Browning up for the convo?
So we're talking about bringing in Yamamoto in a signing. Dice K came to the Red Sox in 2007. What happened that year? They won it all.
Championship. Yeah.
Exactly. So all of these whole situations about the pitching arm concerns and the ability for Japanese pitchers to sustain and succeed. It took Tanaka some time, but you saw Tanaka become clutch in 2017.
Yeah.
Down 0-2 in the ALDS. He basically matched 0 for 0 with Cookie Carrasco.
Yeah. And the Yankees are out of choices, right? And they're out of options. They need to go after him.
I just want to say this. I put respect on Snell's name. I'm not saying Snell is washed up or anything like that. I'm not saying that whatsoever. Like I said, I would like to have Snell. Snell is just going to cost more. Right. Snell is older than Yamamoto at the same time. Snell would be a phenomenal pitcher to add behind Garrett Cole. I have all the respect for his name. But like Sunil said, if the Yankees operate with finances in mind, the smarter financial option would be Yamamoto. One, because he's younger, he's going to cost less than Snell. Would I mind Ian Snell? I wouldn't mind him whatsoever. I don't want you to think that I don't want Blake Snell. I keep on saying Ian Snell. I don't know why. Blake Snell. I don't know why. I just have it in my head. Blake Snell.
Just in your head.
Yeah.
But at the same time, be cognizant of the fact that Monty's price tag in free agency has shot way up.
Oh
yeah. So if you want to talk about hefty, expensive pitchers, they both are pretty much there. But here,
Texas they're gonna keep him.
Oh, I think so too. But I would definitely like to. I would definitely like to see a reconciliation happen if it's in the cards. I mean, they brought back Pettit in 2008, won a trip in 2009, his fifth after his tenure with the 90s teams.
He's the money pitcher.
What do you think, Snell? What do you think on a contract for Montgomery? What do you think?
5 for 125.
Okay, that's solid.
25 a year, huh?
25 a year.
If you do two things, see, bringing back Monty alone isn't going to solve the entire holes.
No, offense needs.
Exactly. I mean, Monty's only demise in the Yankees system was because he never had offensive support. You have to fix both sides of the ball. You have to fix the offense and you have to fix the pitching.
Now, one thing when it comes to Monty, and I'm going to bring up Sean to join us right now. When it comes to Monty, would Monty turn into Josh Beckett, after this offseason, after going to the postseason? Or would Monty turn into Jeff Suppan, who had a good postseason and was able to cash out and get a big payday and was never the same again? Those are your worries that you have to have with Monty. Is this something that he could be consistent with? I know he had a solid year this year and a solid year last year, but is it something that you have faith that he can do this continuously for the rest of his career or over the next 5 seasons? I'm going to throw it to Sunil real quick. It's a gamble. I'm going to throw it to Sunil real quick. Answer that before I bring up Sean, and we got to jump into our last topic before getting out. Go ahead, Sunil.
You have to have a solid supporting system on offense. It's not just pitching alone. You saw what happened with Garrett Cole. All those games he got no decisions in. It was because of he basically got the Monty infliction on him. Lack of offense. So you have to have a solid offensive backing with this guy. And you talked about what Monty could turn into after signing back with the Yankees. I'm going to one up both of those names. I'm going to say look who was his silent whisperer when he first came up in 2017, Andy Pettit. Andy
Okay.
Andy Pettitte was a silent whisperer, and given if Andy Pettitte if he's on that staff just as he was brought in late in the year, if he's still there, I would want Andy Pettitte to work with Monty on establishing a solid cutter.
That's a fair point. That's a solid point, Sunil.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up my guy. I'm bringing up my guy Sean Browning. Sean Browning, let me get a thumbs up real quick before. All right, here's my guy Sean. Sean, my fault for taking so long to bring you up, but my guy, what is good?
Oh, it's all right.
Sean.
I think half of your face is showing real quick. Sean, if you could just move your camera over to your right a little bit.
Oh, the other way.
There you go. There you go. All right, Sean, you've been listening to the conversation. First and foremost, I appreciate you for always showing support, always being in the comment section, jumping on the open panels, whether that be for the Yankees or be for the Jets. So I appreciate you, Sean. So let's get your take, Sean. What are you feeling when it comes to this offseason? What's your thoughts? What do you want the team to go?
Well, I would call it dream list, but where I see the most likely going is Yamamoto, Juan, Lee from Korea, South Korea, would be number 2, and then I could see them even getting Matsui from Japan as a closer reliever. But I would like to see them also go try and trade for Bednar as a closer.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, Soto would be an option too, but even if we can't, I would try and get another bat like maybe Candelario, but keep him as a lower level, bottom of the lineup guy, just to have that flexibility and the athleticism. Because
left-handed.
The problem when our offense is too many of the same guys, same type of hitters.
Yeah.
And aside from the kids, all the old veterans aren't really athletic. I mean, Judge is athletic. Don't get me wrong. He's a whole nother level. But Stanton can barely run.
Yeah.
When he hits, it's gone or it's smoked somewhere. Rizzo, he was on a tear until the concussion. And then but DJ, like you said, the hip bothered him. The toe injury from last year still plagued him for most of the year. And when you just have Judge and DJ carrying the lineup, you're not going to get much.
That's not going to cut it.
That's a fact.
Yeah, it's not going to cut it.
A lot of question marks.
Jung-hoo Lee,
a lot of question marks.
Perfect leadoff guy, because he's got the speed, and he's that hitting type. Like when Ichiro came, remember when Ichiro came?
On base guy.
In 2000, 200 hits from the leadoff spot. The guy was always on base. He'd even bunt for hits.
Yep. I think his rookie. I think his
Need
rookie year. If I'm not mistaken, Ichiro got over 250 hits his rookie year. First time ever in Major League Baseball history that a rookie got 250 hits. Yeah. The reason why the Yankees didn't go after Ichiro was because of Hideki Arabu. That's why. Just imagine that.
Sean, how about Kiermaier?
What's that?
Kiermaier.
He's an injury risk.
I wouldn't mind Kiermaier because he's a left guy, and then while we're waiting for Dominguez, he can play center.
Right.
Because Dominguez is probably
he's way down my list.
And maybe give him a little time in AAA to rehab, before we throw him back in the center field.
Yeah.
I'm getting Kevin Kiermaier only if we trade for Juan Soto or sign Cody Bellinger. That's the one. I'm not my offseason acquisition is not going to be Kevin Kiermaier as my top outfielder acquisition in the offseason. I'm sorry. If that's how the Yankees are going to go with it, they're going to lose. It's just egg on their face. If they decide to not get Juan Soto, not sign Cody Bellinger, but their big offseason ticket was Kevin Kiermaier to be that center fielder, we're gonna be here having the same conversations next year. Yankees aren't going to be in the postseason.
Soto. I want Soto and
Kiermaier.
Yeah.
100%. That's what I'm saying. I'm getting Kevin Kiermaier if we trade for Soto or sign Cody Bellinger. I'm not having Kevin Kiermaier be my only acquisition when it comes to that.
That's not going to cut it.
And I'm saying
whatsoever.
Soto would be trying to trade for Soto would be a top priority. Definitely getting Lee because he can cover left and center.
I'll take both.
But Kiermaier, if I can't find anybody else, and I don't want to really go with
Florial
Pereira in left field and just put him in AAA, I would get Kiermaier just so that Pereira can be developing in AAA again and work on things.
Now,
because
I got something I want to ask you fellas, right? And I'm sorry for cutting you off, Sean Browning, but I want to ask you guys this, and I'll start with Sean and then go to Sunil, Jerry, and then TC to get your thoughts on this. A scenario where the Yankees, they decide we're going to wait till next offseason because Juan Soto's not going to want to sign that contract extension. So they pass on Juan Soto, right, as their option. That's the first thing. But they decide to call up the Cleveland Guardians because there's rumblings that the Cleveland Guardians are going to look to start over and build it up because they haven't been able to make it past the first round in the postseason. Would you be willing to trade Spencer Jones, Chase Hampton for Jose Ramirez to play third base for the New York Yankees? I'm going to start with Sean, go to Sunil, Jerry, and TC. Is J-Ram someone you guys like?
If we pass on Soto, I would hold on to Spencer Jones and only trade him for an elite outfielder. And trading him for a third baseman. And don't get me wrong, J-Ram is good. He's a good player, and he's a decent guy. But we already got Peraza, as a third base option. We got DJ who can play third. So third field is not really a hole for us. So I would, but the other prospects for him, I wouldn't mind getting him if that was the way they wanted to go. But honestly, Spencer Jones to me would only I would only trade him for Juan Soto or someone like Juan Soto type player, because Juan Soto is the finished product of what Spencer Jones could be. And
I gotta respect that take. Sunil, throw it over to you when it comes to Jose Ramirez, and same thing for Jerry and TC. Go ahead, Sunil.
Well, backtracking one step, when you said Cleveland Guardians, I was holding onto my seat pretty tight. I was hoping that Josh Naylor's tape wasn't coming into this conversation because of this. All right. To Spencer Jones, he's what people have been calling a left-handed Aaron Judge. I call him somebody with the work ethic of Paul O'Neill. He's basically a lefty contact power hitter bat we need. So him in any trade, regardless of who the return is, no, not happening. Spencer Jones has got to be out of any of these trade talks entirely. Now, if you were telling me Pedro Serrano was involved in the
Juan Soto trade?
Pedro Serrano, you're a clown.
I mean, it is Cleveland, it is Cleveland. I would have taken Pedro Serrano as Joe Budal in a New York Minute.
Sunil, you're not giving up Spencer Jones for Juan Soto?
No.
Wow.
I want that. I want that Paul O'Neill type work ethic and that lefty Aaron Judge, because remember, we need lefty bats in there. And if you actually try and get Spencer Jones, you work with him and get him right and get him prepared for his possible 2024, 2025 debut, you could see more or less the sample size you did with Jason Dominguez. Not saying that he's going to come up for a week and a half and go on the IL with an ACL or whatever. But you could see a larger, more constructive, creative, productive sample set out of this guy. Him and Judge are about the same size. He's a lefty bat, which you clearly need. we're devoid of lefty bats altogether. Jose Ramirez, I don't see him as being the productive type. And Sean has already brought up that we've got Peraza and many of the younger kids who need to be on the infield. Peraza, I would like to see him, get his stuff right, maybe in the Arizona Fall League and whatnot over the offseason, if he's going there.
I don't think they'll send Peraza to the AFL just because those are lower ranked prospects that go to the Arizona Fall League. But Jerry, I want to throw it over to you to get your takes.
Peraza's out of options too. He has to be on this roster.
Yeah, he has to be on the major league roster as well. And we'll throw it over to Jerry, then throw it over to TC when it comes to J-Ram. And folks in the chat, let me know what's your thoughts about Jose Ramirez. And I only bring this up only because there's rumblings about the rebuilding process going on in Cleveland, and if the Yankees decide to wait next offseason when Juan Soto is a free agent. That's the only reason why I bring it up. But Jerry, let me get your thoughts real quick and then throw it over to TC.
Okay, how about if we get Ramirez and Stephen Kwan, the left fielder? He could be.
Oh no, they'll never give up.
You're
Stephen
not getting
Kwan.
both. Come on,
Stephen Kwan. Stephen Kwan. Stephen Kwan. He's signed to a team-friendly deal.
That's my deal.
Nah, that would never happen.
You didn't answer the question.
That would never happen. So go ahead, TC. I'll throw it over to you.
I'm looking at it. I need a win now, and Spencer Jones is probably 2 years away, and I'm doing the deal. I don't trust our farm system. I don't trust what these guys are going to do. Aaron Judge is the only guy that's ever come out in the last 10 years that's amounted to anything. Jose Ramirez, switch hitter, plays, third. He can play multiple positions as well.
Yeah.
He's a gamer. He reminds me of a Paul O'Neill and Bernie Williams, the guys we were just talking about. I want that guy on my team, middle of the lineup, or surrounded by Judge. We'll get Soto next year. I want to win now. I do the deal. I'm doing the deal.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to Jose Ramirez, and this is why I want to bring it up. First of all, his contract he is signed until 2028. Next year, he's making $17 million. The year after that, he's making $19 million. The year after that, he's making $21 million. Then he makes $23 and then $25 million in the last year of his contract. That's one.
Give me J-Ram.
Also, when it comes to J-Ram, Jose Ramirez, like you said, he's a switch hitter, and he's played in a minimum 150 games every season since 2016. The only games he didn't play 150 games were 2019 when he played 130 and 2020 because of the pandemic. Also, this year, J-Ram, he's a 282 hitter, 24 home runs, and 80 RBIs. But with runners on base and with runners in scoring position, this is where it's important. Jose Ramirez, for the past 5 seasons, he is a 300-plus hitter with runners in scoring position. This last year, with runners on base, his batting average was 346. With runners in scoring position, he had a 355 batting average. And I think the most important, with runners in scoring position and 2 outs, Jose Ramirez was a 366 hitter last year. So when there's runners on base, Jose Ramirez steps his game up. He doesn't strike out as much. He's a Gold Glove defender as well. And on top of it, on base percentage, he is a 350 on base percentage. Now,
I'd make the deal.
I understand people saying that they got Peraza and you're happy with Peraza. But how can we say no to a guy who is a 350 hitter with runners in scoring position with 2 outs? Something that this team has done historically bad under Aaron Boone since 2018.
I'm moving Peraza to short and Volpe to second. I'm getting J-Ram at third.
Yeah, exactly. You need that middle infield with those two.
Yep. Solid infield.
And Jose Ramirez has played second base. Jose Ramirez came up as a second baseman. The only reason they moved him to third base is because they had that second baseman there. I'm forgetting his name, but he was a fixture in Cleveland for some years, a left-handed hitter. Forgot his name. But that's why Jose Ramirez was a third base.
He's a dangerous hitter. I don't want to face him with men on base. No way.
No.
Yeah. He's not.
He has 22 intentional walks too. Did you see that stat?
No, go ahead. Let them know.
He has 22 intentional walks. So they don't want to face him with men on base. No, I don't either. So, he's a threat.
Yeah,
Hipness,
and
come on.
by the time his contract is done, he will be 35 years old. He's entering age 30 this year. He has 5 more years left on his contract. His contract will be done when he's 35 years old.
Yeah.
I'll make the
Window.
deal.
The window's
make the
closing.
deal.
We
The
need to
window
do it
is
now.
closing.
Yes.
I just want to understand. I just
No
want
waiting.
to understand the logic of why not to. And the only reason why I said is because if the Yankees do not trade for Juan Soto and they decide to go after him when he's a free agent, that means you open up your prospects to trade for Jose Ramirez.
Right.
Jose Ramirez is going to cost more than Juan Soto because Jose Ramirez, he's signed to a very team-friendly deal.
Yeah.
Let's say 17 million for a guy for that production is very team-friendly deal. So he's going to cost more than what you would have to give up for Juan Soto. So you would have to give up Spencer Jones, a Chase Hampton, maybe a Drew Thorpe. That may be a little bit expensive. Maybe send them Oswald Peraza.
You got to be creative. You got to be creative in these deals.
And it's only if Cleveland decides to hit that rebuild button. But our last topic that we're going to go over, and I'm going to throw it up on the screen 1 second. I'm going to just mute Jerry. I'm going to mute Sunil, and I'm going to mute Sean just because I want to bring this topic up. I want to put it on the big screen. Me and TC will talk about it for a second, and then I will bring in the other fellas as well to join us. Let me just do this. Matter of fact, I can't do it because I messed up on the graphic. Anywho,
no worries. No worries.
Let me go back to this. Open panel. Where are they? There they go.
There we are.
Hold on 1 second. 2cam open panel. Technology, right? It's crazy. Now, Giancarlo Stanton. I'm gonna bring this up real quick. Yeah. When it comes to Giancarlo Stanton, it's time for the Yankees to really sit down and have the conversation on if they should eat Giancarlo Stanton's money. This season, Giancarlo Stanton had a 191 batting average. He struck out 33.4% of the times. He missed over 60 games due to injuries. And for the 3rd consecutive season, he has hit below his career high or career batting average. I'm going to start it over with you, Sean. What do you think the Yankees should do when it comes to Giancarlo Stanton? Then throw it over to Sunil and then Jerry, and then we'll wrap up with TC.
First of all, the first conversation I'd have with Giancarlo would be to get him to work with the same hitting coach that Judge worked on the offseason, and even talk with Matt Carpenter on rebuilding his swing approach at the plate because he's totally lost it. He's still a dangerous threat all the time, but it's like he's barely catching up to fastballs now, and he's having a hard time. Injuries have plagued him. And then also, Father Time is really catching up to him. And, I would basically give him an opportunity this offseason and tell him to see that guy that Aaron Judge saw, the hitting coach.
Richard, yep.
And then even talk with Matt Carpenter on rebuilding, research, reviving something this offseason.
Something.
And then tell him he's got to perform this year or we're going to, cut ties because, I know it's $98 million, but this is an $8 billion franchise. And if you're not performing to $98 million worth of performance, it's time to go, somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But
he's 30. Giancarlo is 33. He'll be turning 34 November 8th. So basically, in a few weeks, he'll be turning 34 years old.
Yeah.
Shout out to my guy Razil the Great in the chat who said Stanton needs to join the NSYNC reunion tour. Bye. Absolutely, 100%. I want to throw it over to Sunil. Sunil, I want to get your take when it comes to Giancarlo. Throw it over to Jerry, and let's throw it over to TC to close us out.
So I'm looking at baseballreference.com and I'm seeing anywhere between a 33 and 50% drop in his numbers when you take his 8-year career with the Marlins and compare it to the 6-year tenure he's had with the Yankees. Look at games played, 986 for the Marlins, 549 for the Yankees. Look at plate appearances: 41-20 for the Marlins, 23-17 for the Yankees, 35-77 at bats for the Marlins, 2,031 for the Yankees, 576 runs scored for the Marlins, 282 for the Yankees, 960 hits, 494. That's the comparison. Marlins, obviously higher. Look at doubles. He was a doubles machine. 202 in 8 years for the Marlins. Only 83 in 6 years. We're talking about 2 years shy of having an equal playing field in terms of total number of years for both teams. Right. Now you're looking at, let's say, so power hitters aren't always going to be triple machines. 10 in 8 years for the Marlins. 1 in 6 years for the Yankees. 267 home runs for the Marlins, 135 for the Yankees, and that's only taking a 2-year difference in the total career. RBI 672 versus 359. You're talking about stolen bases. He's got 36 stolen bases. Now, granted, power hitters aren't going to be stolen base machines, but still 36 for the Marlins, 6 for the Yankees, 14 caught steals for the Marlins, 1 for the Yankees. Walks 487 versus 251. Strikeouts 1140 for the Marlins, 680 for the Yankees. He's almost on the same page. His batting average is entirely 0.015 lower in the 6 years for the Yankees. The more astonishing one is total bases. His total bases in 8 years for the Marlins was almost 1,000 higher than it was for the Yankees, 1983 versus 984. We went deep diving into this last night on Pinstripes After Dark. Tats is like, are you intentionally trying to piss me off here? And look, yeah, and sack flies. Oh my God, sack flies is a very deep disparity. 74 for the Marlins, 12 for the Yankees, and hit by pitch 36-15. Here's the one thing that caught my eye. Grounded into double plays in 8 years with the Marlins, 73. He's got 2 more years to match the total, career duration with the Yankees, and he's only 10 off. 73 versus 63 is a split. So for somebody like this, how do you justify that high price contract and wanting to keep him?
There's hardly no way you can justify that. And Giancarlo Stanton, when we traded for him, I don't think anybody saw this decline. I don't think anyone saw that. You can question the contract, you could question the money, and you can also question his injury history, because he did have an injury history when we traded for him. I never thought he would be hitting under 200.
Let's go behind the scenes. People were, at the time when we traded for Stanton, people were making all the, and I get it's completely justified. You wanted Harper or Machado in 2018 as free agents. Let me go behind the scenes and tell you, if you had this analytical and medical training staff with any of those 2 high-priced free agents, I guarantee you they would have had the same injury history, because the medical and analytical staff is not adequate to support this team. It's not all. This entire thing is not all player related. It's how you're trying to perceive and portray these players to be. They messed up with Sonny Gray's fastball. They basically had him throw breaking stuff. He shit the bed for the Yankees. He was much better with Cincinnati and Minnesota and everywhere else he went after that.
No, 100%. Don't disagree with you at all. Jerry, what's your thoughts real quick with Big G? And let's throw it over to TC to wrap us up and get out of here. And shout out to Uncle Grandpa Tats that is in the building. Go ahead.
Okay, we were blinded by his home runs, the bombs that he had hit. He was fine the first 2 years, but he's more on the bench, and he kills us on the base paths. He's going to get in double plays. If he hits it on the ground, automatic double play. He can't play the field. He's too slow. He's a snail. So the guys are going to run on him. A single will turn into a double or maybe a triple by the time he gets to the ball. So it's a deficit with him. And he's not going to last 4 years. Pete and I and the gang talked about it, I think, last night. He
in the
will
gang,
not go
in the gang.
the chat.
He's part of the gang now.
I love you,
He's
Jerry.
He's not going to go 4 more years. There's no way he isn't going to make it.
Nah, yeah, it's no way he could last 4 or 5 more seasons with this type of production. There's no way. His knees are shot, his legs are gone. You know, Giancarlo Stanton, you hate to see it because I don't, like I said, I didn't see this type of decline. I had it in my head like, okay, cool. He'll miss some time. He'll go on the IL.
Right.
He'll still crack you 30 home runs. But since he's been a Yankee, he hasn't even cracked 40 home runs once since being a Yankee.
Yeah,
once.
he had 59 home runs for them, for the Marlins.
59 home runs. He came to the Yankees. I think he had 36 or 37 in his first year. And after that, he was never able to match up to that type of production.
Right.
TC, I want to throw it over to you, TC. Give us your final takes when it comes to Giancarlo Stanton, and let's get ready to get out of here, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're stuck with them, and it's too bad. I wish there was a way to get him back. He could see another batting coach, get him some hot yoga, stop lifting weights, get him off the juice.
I don't think that's going to do it.
I don't know. He's got to be more flexible, and you can see he's so super tight at the plate. He can't get to the outside pitch. He can't run. He can't field. I mean, it's just it's just a bad player to have on their team, clogging up the spots. And and the contract is bad, and he has a no trade clause. So I don't know. I don't see them eating his contract. So hopefully they can. I know he said he wants. He said it himself. He's had a terrible season, and he wants to get it right. So hopefully he goes in the offseason and tries to, stand by his words, and we'll see. But last 2 years has been a total decline. I hope he turns it around, but I don't see it.
You can't put him on first base either because he'll be injured stretching for the ball.
Yeah, no, 100%. But guys, we wrapped it up. Anna Marie says she loves the 2-hour shows. Don't worry, we'll probably have more 2-hour shows during the off seasons, especially now that Tuesdays and Thursdays will be open panels as well going forward in the off season. So I want to shout out the panelists who joined us today. Big time Jerry, my brother Chanel, my guy Sean Browning. I appreciate all of you guys. Appreciate everybody in the chat for tuning in. My guy Blood of the Panther, the top moderator of all the mods that we have over here. Anna Marie Lebeau, I love you. Uncle Tats and the Pinstripe Chronicles, I love you, Uncle Tats. Retired War Vet, I appreciate you. My guy MP, my guy 01LS1Z28DABX, I love you. Salute, 3 capital S's. My guy Razel the Great, Dev Finch, Carol with the K, Carlos with the K. I appreciate all you guys. My guy Sheepdog, like always, smack that like button, hit the subscribe button, and we will see you on another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew this Tuesday. But like always, Thursday. But like always, deuces.
God bless.